Hello, MGTOW. Hello, man. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I've got a few things that I want to talk about. I want to respond to a recent video, Dear MGTOW, Why You're Wrong. I think you guys will enjoy it. And I, of course, want to talk about some other things as well. Let me make sure everything's working here very quickly. Yes, we are live. Wonderful. Okay. Yeah. So we are going to be reviewing Leanna Bubbly's video, Dear MGTOW, Why You Are Wrong. She put MGTOW 101 and freedom in there. And given the fact that it's addressed to MGTOW, I think it's appropriate. You know what I mean? That there be some sort of response from the Howard Dare channel. So I think you guys will enjoy that. And I'll get to that in a little while. Let me share my video and do a couple of other things. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, MH, how's it going? Long time no see. Hashtag questionable MGTOW. Yeah. I suppose, well, I guess I've been thrown out of the true MGTOW group, which is very unfortunate. Very upsetting to me. But I don't know where, the true MGTOW have gone to either. I don't know, though, if you're using the hashtag properly there, MH. I mean, I'll look it up, right? It's probably filled with Howard Dare. Questionable MGTOW hashtag. All right, I'm doing it. Can you guys hear me okay? I did another live stream the other night, like 40 minutes of just me, no microphone. You can check it out if you don't believe me. So the last live stream. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not finding anything. I think that we're dealing with a basic misconception of males when they question men that are productive. Like let's say that somebody can make a lot of money doing something, and another guy, he can't. He's just not good enough at it, or he's not built up enough at it, whatever. Well, he'll denigrate and belittle the other man and what he's doing. And I think this partially stems from the delusion that the other man, the man who's casting aspersions, that he is a woman, right? That like he can exist in a world where he doesn't have to earn his way. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like, why would you ever say to another man, oh, you're making money, so you're a bad man. When, what are you doing? Sucking dick? How are you getting by? Are you fulfilling the female role? Are you a dependent? And, that really is the answer. It's a dependent. And if it's not like somebody who's living with their parents, it's somebody who's, still under the illusion of the blue pill world. Because the blue pill world it's a collective. It's a group that you are part of without having earned your place, your status, by merit within the group. Okay? And the way that you do that is you emotionally, whip the mob up, and then you attack people's motives. And then, like, you guys who all hate them, you're the group. So it's a real low-level, chicken shit tactic. It really is, a real low-level move and tactic. And of course, that's why you see, the young, unsuccessful men shaming other men for their productivity. So there's the call of questionable MGTOW, right? Like when you get good enough to make money at something, you should make money at it. I'm just saying, right? Unless you have some other way to make your way in the world, And I'll tell you something else. before you can denigrate something, you have to be good enough at something. You know, it's like if you're an aspiring musician and you don't know how to play in key or in rhythm, you don't get to denigrate and belittle playing in key and in rhythm. You only get to go outside of that once you can play with in key and in rhythm. Then you can maybe experiment a little bit. But before that, that just means you don't have any skill. That's what that means. And this is the tactic of the unproductive man. Sorry, just had to go into it. Someone said questionable MGTOW, and I just had to get going with it. What's going on? So you guys can hear me, right? My network connection actually doesn't hear me. Yeah, audio is good. Thank you for the feedback, MH. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. Gray Man, hey, how's it going, bro? The Fifth Estate is here. Choose MGTOW. Choose you. Choose freedom. Choose life. Choose having a future. Let's see. Anachronism, democracy taken seriously. Sorry. Only way you're not a true MGTOW is if you still get with women that would make you a PUA, which is kind of like a branch form of MGTOW. Okay, sure, no doubt, man. But that's a great nickname we've got going on there, Anachronism. Humberto Perez is here. MGTOW Nation with sunglasses, because it's hot out. New York here. New York in the house. Howard, music is too loud. Yikes, okay. Thank you. Yeah, this is not like a professional high-level setup, my friends. Wow. Yeah, like I can't even turn it off now. What's going on? There it is. Let's see if that's a little better. I don't really need to even use the bandwidth, you know what I mean, and waste the bandwidth for it. Satanic MGTOW is here. Thanks for stopping by. Good, good to have you here. Joe 007 is here. Thanks for stopping by, Joe. Wishing Star is here. Don't get Metro PCS, guys. You'll regret it if your Wi-Fi ever cuts out. What's worse, I have 4 more days. Yeah, sometimes I've seen people like really get upset about, the kind of contracts that they've had to sign for, their mobile service and things like that. I'm like on this, least expensive plan I can get. Because I'm not going to send much data through the telephone. I'm really not. You know what I mean? Honestly, to me, a phone is just like an emergency communication device. That's it. But it's much more, more in this day and age. I'll tell you this: the majority of my views, they're coming from mobile phones right now. Well, maybe not right now, but overall, oh yeah, totally. And the trend is, moving in that direction. So. And I'm thinking about getting into the MGTOW app production. That's what I'm going to do. Because I'll tell you, making videos, it's just not profitable. Making MGTOW videos is just not profitable. Certainly not the way I do it, right? Because I'm just doing it through AdSense. And, it doesn't work anymore because they've come down on the hashtag, on the ideas, on the perspective so strongly that there's no advertisement or anything like that. And I don't mean to complain to you guys. I'm just letting you know what's going on, right? So it's very hard to put, 3 or 4 hours of work into like a video, put it out there, and then have somebody that doesn't understand anything, that gets offended that you're not complimenting the woman's, just throws it in the garbage. And now it's not suitable for, advertisement. And that's all I'm really doing here. Do you know what I mean? That's the only way I'm sustaining myself. So that's been getting worse and worse and worse. And it's worse than you think it is, okay? Because they're honestly taking people who are searching for MGTOW and then shuffling them over to Hillary Clinton videos. You've got to understand that they're using the search engines, they're using the search results, they're using all of that to promote their own political bias and views and to discourage and punish the people who don't agree with them. The algorithm is not blind, okay? They're tipping the scales. So the idea that you're going to have a free independent message, you are not. Not unless, it's sustainable directly through you guys. That's the whole thing. Right? So one of the ways to kill MGTOW is to make it impossible for anybody to make any money promoting MGTOW. That'll do it. Little bitches. Right? So I have guys who come here and argue for that. And they're just, blue pill propagandists. You know what I mean? In their heart, they're still like, oh, he's saying something that's not complimentary towards the women's. What's up, man? John Smith is here. Yeah, well, sometimes you have to just do it, And in a lot of instances, that's what these live podcasts are. That's why they can go on for 6 hours, right? But I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. But I just get so angry, They're messing with, look, they shut down any sort of a conservative, anti-mainstream message. On Twitter, on Facebook, they're making it illegal in the UK to even express dissent online. To even watch videos where someone else expresses dissent online. Places like China have never even allowed anything like that. Right? Like if you type in the word freedom in China, it shows you a picture of your president. Right? And it says freedom is, worshiping the president and doing what he says. That's what freedom is. You're like, wow, freedom doesn't sound too bad. Freedom sounds like what we're forced to do every day anyway. So we have just as much freedom as they do in America. It's like, well, yeah, except that's not what freedom is. Freedom, anyway, yeah. So the algorithm is not blind. They are tipping the scales in favor of their own political bias and against those that they disagree with, okay? The justice system, they are tipping the scales. Justice is no longer blind. These political, they're witch hunts. They are political bias. Our major institutions, the FBI, the Justice Department, they are not the instruments of what they claim to be, which would, enshrine them in a kind of nobility and protect them. That's not what they are. They're craven, low-level, greedy, biased, political hacks. In many instances. Not in all instances, of course not. Or they're fanatics, you know what I mean? You could say this whole leftist response to Trump was a fanatical, crazy response. Cave Creature is here. Hey, buddy, how's it going, man? Says, Howard Dare, it's getting worse. They're proposing to stop trolls from joining the parliament. Bleh. Exactly. I know. That's what I was talking about. I was talking about a recent Sargon of Akkad video where he covered this exact subject. But it's, it's deeper than that. It's the idea that anybody who's expressing any sort of, insults one of their, political cronies, that person's going to jail. You know what I mean? So if you say, well, I don't think Hillary Clinton would be a very good leader, it's like, well, you're going to jail, pal. That's hate speech. And I'm telling you, that's how it's been here on YouTube for a long time. Now, you can get away with it through, certain tricks. But if it's a core message of, you're an independent man, freedom is your only way to live, reason and logic is your only way to govern your life, and your own happiness and purpose in life is your moral and ethical purpose in life. If that's the argument, you got to shut that message down. Okay, if I would sell some t-shirts, it might be cool. But if that's the message, that's going to seriously offend some people. So it's destroying the Howard Dare channel. And I don't know what to, no, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to work 5 hours on something for somebody with an IQ of 85 to just throw it away. I'm just not going to do it. I don't know what to tell you, right? I'd rather come on here live and, just fucking rant about it. I would rather do that. I would rather keep the live streams up, all the time. Do you see what I'm saying? Red Pill Radio Rant. MGTOW Revenge. MGTOW Vengeance. That's what I would rather do. I mean, if they're going to shut down all my videos and, control my message, well, it's my fault. It's my fault for going with AdSense. Crypto Andrew is here. I should get into cryptocurrency. Says, hey, man. MH says, I think the people will work that out, Cave. We're going to stress out the crooked government to the point where they have to act out. It won't end well. Yeah, forcing their hand. I know what you're saying. But I don't know. In the long run, it's a very effective strategy. Mass shaming, accusing someone, of all kinds of racism and being a Nazi if they don't agree with you, and it's a female emotional attack, right? And it stops my videos from going out. It really does. Guys who are running this thing, women who are in charge of this thing, they're hearing this stuff that I'm saying, and they're saying, look, it's already illegal in the UK. I should sell t-shirts. I really should. I should sell makeup is what I should do. I should sell makeup for women, Yeah, shout out to Crypto Andrew. Thanks for stopping by, bro. Anachronism Democracy Taken Seriously says, you should do what he who shall not be named does and get some sponsors. Nothing. No, I'm sorry. Just joking around. Maybe, no doubt. The Howard Dare channel, brought to you by Manly Products. And then I'd give them a shout out, and they'd have like a badge or something up here on the thing. Brought to you by Dragon Products. There you go. Sponsored by the Dragon. Yeah, that's about the size of it, isn't it? This is the dragon, this is the beast of Revelation that we are fighting. Look, it's the destruction of male freedom. Women have never really been into freedom too much. They're into security. It's unfortunate. And now with all the resources of a modern technological state, there's so much at stake. There's so much up for grabs that, the women are playing for keeps, and it's destroying, the men within the culture and the society, and they don't care, right? Look, all the way since third wave feminism, since the 60s, the women have betrayed the men. They have pretended that their own native men are evil men to therefore garner sympathy in the political class and thereby, control the voting. So that's all that's been going on. That's what the liberal left is now. It's a party of the women. Socialism, collectivism, and the men go along, of course. And they destroy men who are, trying to be free. People, just men and women. The women aren't smart enough to have figured it out yet. Some of them have, but most of them, they just want some more ice cream. Excuse me. AP530 says, that's a space dragon. Yeah, it is. But it is the dragon of feminism and collectivism and socialism. Semi Wright says, Howard, have you seen this? Chad sued Chad and won. Jilted husband awarded nearly $9 million from wife's lover on ABC News a few hours ago. Yeah, I did see that. I think JB did a video on the subject. A woman cheated on her husband, and the husband was able to sue the man that she cheated with for $9 million, which is kind of, in today, in this day and age, it's like, that doesn't make, why would he get to sue the man, right? Why not sue the woman? And I think it's probably an old law left over, from the good old days of the patriarchy, where a wife was property. So, for her to sleep around, she isn't even going to be held accountable for it. It's just going to be like, oh, well, that man owed me money. He sleep with my wife. He owe me. And, really, exactly. We have a lot of old laws on the books. Interesting. I wonder if he could have, why couldn't he sue her for $9 million? And why, maybe this guy didn't even know about it, right? Yeah, I suppose we should look into that from a MGTOW point of view, right? Because every time a woman cheats, you know what I mean, and sleeps with another man, the cops and the government are just going to run over there and grab the man and throw him in jail, right? The woman's just going to walk away scot-free. So in other words, a woman's going to be married with a family, okay? And she's going to go out and she's going to sleep around with 10 different men, okay? And then the man's going to say, I want a divorce. This woman slept around with 10 different men. And the government and the state is going to say, this woman didn't do anything wrong, but those 10 men that she slept with, they're all going to jail. You can sue them, right? So it's this idea of like never holding women accountable for anything that they do. Right? That's just like a general principle that we have going on here. And then you've got the individual judge and jury, that are just sweating it out. Like, she's kind of cute. I've got to go easy on her. What will the people think if I come down heavy on the crying widow? So it's like, well, you get to walk away scot-free with 6 months of probation. And everybody's like, 6 months? It's like, no. 3 months. 3 months of probation. It's like, okay, that's a little bit more like it. But the man would like go away for like 3 life sentences. I'm just checking out the chat. Lolo Pop 123 says men are granted the majority of freedom and the men provide security for the women. Win-win. This is how we should treat general differences between particular groups. Problem is all that I just said. Well, I don't know if that's all of the problem, but men are granted the majority of freedom. Why? I mean, if someone's granting it to you, it's not really freedom, is it? And yes, Western civilization does provide security. You know what I mean? Like, we build police forces, we build laws, we have laws, we have standards and acceptable practices, and we protect, individual rights. You can't steal from people, you can't hurt from people. These are the basic laws. It's definitely a win-win. But I don't know that this is how we should treat general differences between particular groups, because if a group has no respect for these principles and these values, I don't see why we should afford them these principles and these values. I think they should not be allowed, to interact at that level. And it's infinite. There's a lot more to it. I'm sorry, Lolo Pop 123. I agree that men provide security for women. I'll agree with you on that. Victor von Frankenstein. Been seeing a lot of anti-MGTOW stuff lately. Yeah, that's what we're going to review, an anti-MGTOW video recently put out there. I don't know if we could really call it an anti-MGTOW video. It's a young woman, a dating coach actually, who's got some serious, opinions about this. Erasable Fallen says, women have no honor or loyalty. They don't even take their own marriage's vows very seriously. They won't stay with a man if he's poor or in poor health. They'll almost always end up cheating too. Yeah, well, I agree. And this is almost like all women, right? Like if the conditions get that bad, yeah, all women pretty much go down that road. And this is the basic argument, regarding the NWALT. So, all the women say, not all women are like that. I'm not like that. And that's fine. Maybe she's not today or right now. And it doesn't even matter if she is or is not like that. She has these options open to her. She can falsely accuse the man and the man goes away. She can just express dissatisfaction and, legal trouble comes down on the man. He loses his family. So it doesn't matter that not all women are like that, because all women have the potential to be like that and the opportunity to be like that, and they have not disavowed it. So the women are walking around society with an eject button on all the men. Crow says, NBA star Blake Griffin asked his fiancée to sign a prenup one day before marriage. She was like, hell no. And then that same night, he flew to LA, got with a Kardashian. He dumped her with 2 kids. Cool. Well, I'm not sure I understand. Let me try this one again. Asked his fiancée to sign a prenup one day before marriage. She was like, hell no. What the fuck, bitch? That same night, he flew to LA and got with a Kardashian. He dumped her with 2 kids. So she had 2 kids already, is what you're saying. His fiancée had 2 kids. He asked her to sign a prenup. She said no, and he was like gone. He was going to get together with a Kardashian. I think that's what you're saying. And I have no problem with that. Man. Like, how could you, like, if you were rich and famous and, had a future and things like that, a serious, financial future, and you were going to get married to a woman with 2 kids, like, no, you've got to sign a prenup. But they're not respected in court anyway, so it doesn't matter. Ashwin says, MGTOW changed my life. I spend my money on doing social services rather than spending on those hoes. Well, spend it on yourself, Ashwin. Take care of the things you need to have a good life. Don't spend it on the women. Give them pennies, you know what I mean? Make them crawl for pennies. That's what they've done to the men. They've used their sexual power in the workplace, in the public sphere, to destroy men. And it's happening all the time. And if you don't go along with it, you're going to get called out and punished and shamed. So it's a constant thing that's going on here, gentlemen. Sorry. Moving forward. So how are we doing? Did they send out notifications for the video? I need to check out what's going on. 73 people watching. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for stopping by, everybody. This is the Howard Dare channel. This is still part of the preseason podcasts where I'm just ironing out the problems and, getting things settled. The 7 and 8 hour rants, I'm sorry, like they're not letting me put out my regular videos, and I get all this pent up frustration, and there's no way to communicate. And I think that's intentional. You know what I mean? It's like they just keep throwing roadblocks, and now it's impossible, to even make a little, money to be here. So I'm getting all freaked out, and I want to keep making my videos, right? And I want to keep making, these nicer videos. Like, I've got some good ideas that I'm working with right now. I'm stepping up my game. But why? Why would I do that? If they're just going to, disallow the video, it's bullshit. Because they don't agree with it politically, that's wrong. Unsuitable for most advertisers. No, if it was promoted equally among, in the algorithm, I think it would do great. I'm very confident that it would. We've not been promoted fairly in the algorithm for over a year now, I believe. They tipped the scales against us. Against the people that they don't agree with politically. So there's free speech, subtly being influenced by social justice warriors. And that they mass flag, and that they falsely accuse, and they over-dramatize the whole situation, calling it hate speech, everybody who disagrees with them. So how are we supposed to function in a system like that? How are you supposed to, express yourself artistically, creatively, dynamically, in response to the world around you, right? It's like, I got to go check. No, you can't. You just can't. And it's wrong. It's wrong to kind of like put that much of a collar on free speech and behavior. It's like, you better not say anything that offends the women, at least according to my sensibilities. And it's like, yeah, but you're a retarded teenager. You know what I mean? You haven't, no offense, right? You're a retarded teenager. Like, you're not going to make it if you keep going the way you're going. So anything that offends you gets shut down politically, when anything other than a puppy video will offend that person. So, this is why Andrew Ryan built Rapture underneath the sea, because he couldn't take it, right? He couldn't take it. The limitations from the majority. Look, the majority of people are not really very gifted, okay? If you're going to try to please 80% of the people, then you're going to have a pretty bland product. It might be very successful, but it's going to be pretty bland. Do you understand that? So if you want to do anything real and dynamic and expressive and responsive to the situation where men are being destroyed, incidentally, and personal freedom and individual liberty are being destroyed, if you want to respond to that, then your message only appeals to about 20% of the people. And it offends those other 80% of the people. I've got to make t-shirts, people. It's the only way. It's the only way to survive. Oh, so share the video. That's what I'm saying. Say something like hashtag MGTOW. Hashtag men. This is a live podcast, okay? So don't give me a hard time. Support the Howard Dare channel so that we can improve in production quality. And we have a long way to go, which is surprising. Well, no, it's not surprising because they shut me down. And we're sharing it again. With hashtag MGTOW. Yeah, so I'm firing on all cylinders, right? Like I'm sharing to Facebook, I'm sharing to Twitter, I'm sharing to various, groups and things like that. I'm getting all kinds of social ranking. And it's like, this video is not suitable. He's not complimenting the women's. He's not saying that the most important thing in life is to get together with a woman and please her. Right? I mean, that's honestly what they fucking think. Do you know what I mean? That's the purpose of their lives. To get together with a woman, to build a family, and to keep her happy. That's your blue pill life. And you've got to work at whatever job you can get. You know what I mean? So there you go. It's a nightmare. And all the laws are against you, and all the institutions are against you, and all the customs and practices are against you. It's so bad that your own family will betray you in the blink of an eye if the woman starts to cry. You know what I mean? Like if your wife goes to your family and says, he's mistreating me, he's abusive. Your own mother and father will be like, we're disowning you, son. We're taking your children. Right? You should go to jail. And they gaslight the hell out of the men, too. So the men, are going through hard times. Maybe he lost a job. Maybe he's got, a crisis of some type, And the women are not like, oh, it'll be okay, honey, you're a strong man. They're like, you should go get counseling. You should go get checked into an institution. Like I'm going to have you legally declared and committed. They don't support their own men. I was watching car video because I'm watching a lot of car videos lately, and they were racing, and it was pretty intense. And apparently the girl decided to just pull the emergency brake in the middle of the race. So there's like two motorcycles and two cars going down the highway, all racing, weaving in between cars and shit. And apparently the girl is scared shitless. Don't really blame her, but she pulls the emergency brake, and that car just starts to flip. Loses control. Back end locks up, loses control, and it just starts flipping. All right, so that's how women are. That's the point there. Okay, so we've got enough people here. Let's watch the video from Lana Bubbly. Her video, Dear MGTOW, Why You Are Wrong. And let me turn the music off. Thank you guys for stopping by and hanging out. Where's that music? There it is. Excuse me. One sec. All right. Well, no problem. I'm back. All right.
Picking up the tab. It's really, really important.
What the hell is this? This is not where we're supposed to be. Okay. Let's go to Lana's channel. I hope she doesn't mind that we're going to watch this one video of hers. Let's hold off on that. Her channel trailer. Let's take a better look at her channel layout, just, so you guys can get familiar with it. There she is. It's a nice looking channel. She has 96K subscribers. Lana Bubbly, pretty girl. Got a question related to dating or relationships? Ask it here. There you go. There's her trailer. And here's some of her recent uploads. You can see, here's some MGTOW stuff, right? This one is actually from a little bit further back, or rather it starts. Here it is. This one. So it's from a week ago, okay? Let me make sure that you guys are seeing this properly. No sponsors yet. No, I'm not being sponsored. I don't have sponsors. I'm going to come over to the watch page. Echo. Week ago, okay? There's your echo. Oh, and I'm liking. We have 66 likes. And I shared. Okay, yeah, we can see the screen. Good deal. That's all I needed to confirm. Okay, so here's the video from about a week ago.
And this video is specifically addressed to the MGTOW community. You're getting your fingers ready to talk to me and let me know why you hate women and why you hate my channel.
Hello bubbly souls and welcome back to my channel.
My name is Lamb Bubbly. I'm a dating expert and a life coach, and in my video I will show you exactly how to empower yourself in any social situation.
Today what I want
Nice opening, nice intro. Okay, let's continue on.
I want to talk to you about is something a little bit different. And today I want to share with you why I never gave up on my dream, in the hope that you find your inspiration and your motivation in order to continue fight for what's truly important for you.
Well, that's a great idea, right? That's a very optimistic. Don't ever give up on your dreams, right? But then again, let's be a little realistic. I don't think there's too many Disney princesses out there. Just want to point that out. So here we are on Wikipedia. Men going their own way is blah, 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 community of men, supported by website, blah, 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 romantic relationships with women, especially men. Okay, I'm part of the manosphere. Yeah, right? Very generic, very high-level definition of MGTOW there, no problem. Thank you. Please continue.
And this video is specifically dedicated to the MGTOW community. For years now, you've been telling me how you gave up on women, how women mistreated you, how you are better off staying single with other men who are angry against women. And I understand. Women can be materialistic.
One thing to point out, okay, that a lot of people gloss over, is that the anger of individual, commenters that are claiming, MGTOW, it does not represent the entirety of MGTOW. It doesn't even represent I hate to say it, movement of MGTOW, the necessity of MGTOW. You know, as I've said, I look at MGTOW as kind of like an emergency medical, operating room to help men because the situation is so horrible for them out there. Okay, want her to, make her points. Let's let her make her points.
I understand these things, and I'm not going to excuse women for what they have done to you. But at the same time, I have to ask you a question. Do you truly want to isolate yourself and alienate yourself from society? Do you really, truly want to take away the one thing that provides you with true happiness, which is true connection and true love? Simply because you...
I don't think anybody wants to do that. I think that the men are forced to do that. MGTOW isn't always a choice for the men. The situation gets so bad, so destructive, so hateful, so manipulative, that if they wish to survive, if they wish to hold on to any, integrity, they have to go their own way. They don't want to go their own way. Now, some men recognize the situation, and go their own way beforehand. But there is this innate desire within men to get together with women and to please women and to protect women and to provide for women. Women don't feel that way towards men. Okay? Women see men as, protectors and providers. And then they express their emotions, and then they enrich the man's life with their emotions, right? Which in many cases can turn to hateful manipulation. And with the state backing them, it's a very difficult proposition for a man going into something called love or relationships or marriage. I don't know if she appreciates that when she's suggesting, that the most important thing, is the connection between the men and the women. How dangerous it is for the men. But let's continue.
You've been rejected before. See, I've shared with you last time in my video why rejection is excellent for me and for you, and why you should look at the positive things that you get out of rejection. And I think most of you joined this MGTOW community because you simply didn't know how to transform that negative situation into a positive outcome.
Well, that's true, right? In many instances. Some people cannot handle rejection. Some people can't handle not getting what they want. Some men are raised with, very unreasonable expectations, and they're not prepared, to do the work and the preparation that, is required to operate at that level. I'm sorry, an attractive woman, is not going to just throw herself at you to build a family with her. It's not going to happen. Doesn't matter. The man has to have a lot going on. A lot of potential, before that's going to happen. So the situation, the men are facing a very desperate situation, very frustrating, very painful, very hurtful. And it's not easy dealing with rejection. And some go straight into complete rejection. So she's making valid points. Let's continue.
I believe...
Oh, super chat. Thanks for the super chat. Vention MGTOW is here, everyone. Where's the link to the original video? I'll get it into the description while it's playing. Good point. Thank you, Vention. As a matter of fact, let me take a moment and do that right now. I set these things up on the fly, you know what I mean? I'm not putting a lot of thought into the, And, let's say, original video. Everybody, check out Vention's channel. He does a lot of great videos on all kinds of various subjects related to MGTOW. And he does a lot of talk about, cryptocurrency and Bitcoin as well, which I hope it's doing well. I know that it had a problem and it fell down for a while, but then I heard that it bounced back. Okay. Where's my save? Okay. Well, I'm on my live now page, you know, which I'm lucky to be here. I wonder if it's coming over to the description now. Yeah, it's in there. The original video. There's a link in the description mention. And that kind of protects me a little bit as well. Wait a minute, is it not clickable now? What did I do? The URL is there. Maybe I messed it up. Let's keep watching the video and let me work on that. Thanks for the super chat mention. Everybody, you know, check out his channel, watch some of his videos, leave some comments. I think there's a lot of valuable information out there for MGTOW.
That you can change your life around. I believe that you can do these things for your own good. And I believe that there are good women out there, because the proof is I'm here in front of you, telling you that I understand and telling you that I believe in you. So if
you know, it's a kind of simplistic argument right there, you know, that good women still exist because she's here. Well, maybe she is a good woman. I don't doubt that. That's fine. But that doesn't mean that, you know, the 80% of the men out there are in a good position to be having relationships with the 80% of the women. It's really quite toxic for the men. Let's continue.
If someone like me exists, do you truly think that all women are worth isolating yourself from? Do you truly think that women are not worth another chance? Or maybe you have been choosing the wrong type of woman. At the age of 22 and 23, I got involved in relationships that were very hurtful, that broke me down, that made me angry at men, that made me want to stay single forever. But I couldn't lie to myself. And so I had to look deeper into myself and ask myself, what was I doing wrong? And the answer was pretty obvious, actually.
I'm sorry.
It was that I was choosing the...
Did she just say what I was doing wrong? Because I know Wong, and I've been a friend of Wong for a long time. And it would be wrong to speak of Wong in the wrong way. I'm sorry, people. If she said Wong, I'm sorry.
Answer was pretty obvious, actually. It was that I was choosing the wrong person.
Okay. No.
That I was...
She said it. She said it right. I'm sorry. Yeah, it just cracks me up sometimes.
attracted by the wrong thing, and that I wasn't living my life consciously. And this is what I'm here to share with you today, my MGTOW community. I want you to reconvert to the Bubbly Souls movement.
The Bubbly Souls movement, there it is. Her MGTOW community, she wants them to reconvert, you guys. We're reconverting to the Bubbly Souls community. MGTOW is being rebranded Bubbly Souls. Okay, so just letting you know, just so that it doesn't come as a surprise tomorrow, the next day, next week. You're like, where's MGTOW? It's like, no, Bubbly Souls. Okay, continuing on.
I want you to live your life consciously. I want you to join the conscious living wagon and really test out the limitations of your abilities and to reach true connection and happiness. Because I truly believe that you are lonely. And I'm not here to make you feel bad about it, but I am here to give you a reality check.
True compassion and happiness? Well, that's okay. Well, I'll let her, you know, okay, it's her video. It's okay.
And this is where the concept of profiling comes in. And I think this concept is so beautiful because a lot of people get attracted by materialistic things. Women get...
Profiling, the recording and analysis of a person's psychological and behavioral characteristics so as to assess or predict their capabilities in certain sphere or to assist in identifying categories of people. We put everyone through psychometric profiling. That's just wrong. That's racist. You can't profile. You can't stop people who look like they're committing a crime. That's wrong. Oh, in this instance, she's saying it's okay, though. Super chat, black box. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Every little bit helps here at the Howard Dare channel. It's very hard to make money through AdSense. Like if I can make $5 to $20 a day, that's about it. Let's continue with the video, right? She's advocating profiling, at least in this aspect.
Attracted by men who are rich and men who can provide them with security financially. Mostly, not all women, of course. And most men get attracted by women who are beautiful, who have a beautiful face, nice hair, big breasts. And there is...
She's right. Okay, the majority of women are attracted, to men that can provide and protect them. That's a requirement of being masculine, Like she's not looking at a guy that's like broke, that is weak, and thinking, wow, this guy looks great. She's not doing that. And, on the same side of it, on the other side of it, the men are looking at the beautiful, physically attractive women and thinking, I want to get together with her. They're not looking at how much money a woman makes. It's just another one of those differences. So when the young man is raised in a world where he's told there's no differences, and anytime you speak about the differences, you're going to get in trouble. But there are these differences, even in the way that we look at the world. Black box again, coming through. Thank you, my friend. All weaves stink. Is that a weave? No doubt. I can't tell. Continuing on.
There's a lot of hatred from both genders. We simply don't know how to find a middle ground. But I'm here to tell you that profiling is the solution to your answers. Now you might ask me, what is profiling, Leanne? I'm glad you asked.
Yeah, she's a bit of a marketer there. No problem though. Again, I have no problem with people, being aware of getting by in the world. That's fine. It's actually required, Anybody, if someone acts differently, then I'm going to be worried. So let her continue. Actually, let's say, Austin Allen says, of course you don't care about race. I care about it. I love European people and dream of living with my own people someday. Yeah, having a family. And, one of the requirements of a family is that they all look like you, Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, it should be like a multicultural, diverse family where everybody looks different and we're all just part of a community. And it'll be like a proto-communistic state where the women just sleep around. And it's like, yeah, that's what they imagine. That's what they want. MGTOW is a lifesaver, says Krill. Solution to your answers. This is grammatically bizarre. Yeah, she's a little poetic license there, no problem. Let her continue. Taryn says, unless you hire a professional private investigator, what she is describing is illegal in many places. It's called stalking.
Profiling is when you choose someone that is compatible with you. So I'm going to take myself as an example and show you how profiling works for me. I know personally that what is the most important for me is to find a connection with someone where it's based on true, strong values.
Black Box says, Howard, you're like a brutally honest uncle to a lot of us. Thank you, Black Box. That is kind of the role I try to fill, too, It's not always good news, right? But it's the news the information that is helpful to make a man strong. Okay, she's in the middle of her idea. Stefan said, no, I'm not reading that. Robin says, self-mastery is the only way for men. Don't get distracted with anything else. Exactly, Robin. And once you have self-mastery, the rest of the world will come to you. It's like Scarface, First you get the women, first you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the women. Sorry, right? If you try to get the women first, it's pathetic. It's a man simping after women. It's terrible. And then simping after love and true connection and things like that, when he should just be working hard and getting a job done and focused on, a strong future for himself. It's toxic for a man. But but she feels differently. Continuing.
That means someone who's honest, someone who's not afraid of expressing his emotion openly, someone who's respectable and respectful, someone who's open-minded. And those are the most important things for me in a person. So I'm not going to place a high priority on someone having a lot of money, and I'm not going to place a high priority on someone being extra good looking, because those are not the things that make me truly happy. I think you deserve better. And I am here to tell you that I'm going to give you a free consultation. For anyone who truly resonated with the words I shared, for anyone who is strong enough to admit to himself that he is lonely, that he needs help, I'm here to help you for free because I truly care and I truly want to help you.
It's a free consultation being offered, right? Not bad, not bad. The price is right. Let's hear what she has to say.
So if you want to speak to me, I can offer you 15 minutes of my time for free.
Okay, if you've been listening so far, it means that you resonated with what I was sharing with you and that this profiling concept.
Not necessarily. No, we might have been listening this far to disagree with you or to, find fault in your argument. But we don't want to be mean. I mean, that's the last thing I would ever want, is to be mean. Law's Horizon is here, everybody. Never listen to what a woman says. Watch what they do. Well, she's doing a little marketing here towards MGTOW, with relationships and a free consultation. Getting the men to admit, that they're lonely and they don't want to be isolated. It's a brilliant move on her part. It really is. A smart girl. Let her continue.
Makes sense. So what I suggest is once you book the 15-minute consultation for free, you and I can get on a call and talk about how you can find someone who will be compatible with your personality traits, values, and lifestyle.
Yeah, and the implication is that that's a woman, right? That you're calling her from a position of, I'm brokenhearted. My greatest concern in life is getting together with a woman. It's like, you know what I'm most compatible with? Like a Doberman Pinscher, okay? Or I'm most compatible with, a large media company. I'm most compatible, with having 20 employees helping me out on social media. Those would be my best companions. I'll tell you, I like my new car as well. I love that car. It is a great companion. It brings me great joy. Sometimes I just go out every few hours and look at it. And it's just like, damn, that's a beautiful car. Right? I love the car. And then sometimes I just drive. I just want to go out and drive around, right? So the implication is that a man has to be together with a woman, right? What if the man has all these things what if the man is a strong MGTOW, okay? He is in charge of his life. And what if women flock to that man, okay? And he has his choice of these women. What does this have to do with this idea of romantic love and compatibility? And, the point is like, why do you have to be in this intimate relationship with a woman? Why can't you be a powerful, successful, dynamic man that women find attractive, and that if you are of the mindset, you have these short-term, no strings attached relationships with? Do you see? What's so incompatible with that? Why must a man pair bond is the question. So I think that she's selling the idea of pair bonding. Okay, let's continue. I hope that's clear.
Like this, you don't even have to deal with pain, rejection, or hardship anymore. Also, what I can...
What? You don't have to deal with pain, rejection, or hardship anymore? Hardship anymore? Of course you do. I don't care what happens. You'll still have to deal with those things. And the idea, the expectation that you will be exempt from those things is is very immature. It's very short-sighted. That's not what love is. That's a very immature concept of what love is. Okay, that now that you're looking for the woman and you're going to find the woman, it's like now you're not going to feel any more heartache in your life. No, whatever regrets you have from earlier in your life, you're still going to have them. I'm sorry. Unless you just think that you're going to forget everything, right? Some people, when they fall in love, they do that, don't they? So I guess she's advocating for love. Let's continue. Let's continue.
Offer you is my free e-course on body language. If knowing how to
Look at that. That looks nice, right? That's well done. Very professional, very nice looking. That's her free course. Okay. But, you know, I don't know if that's free. Right? The initial consultation is free. Let's continue.
Spot signs if a woman likes you, or spot signs if a woman is lying to you, is important to you, then this is the right e-course for you. And the best part is it's absolutely for free. So you can find the link in the description box below for the free body language e-course, and you can also find the link down below for the free 15-minute consultation.
If you click on the first link that I have in my description box, you can go ahead and book your free consultation, and I promise you that after those 15 minutes, you will see life differently. Until next time, I wish you an extra bubbly day on purpose, and until next time, you stay bubbly, my friends.
Well, that's it. That's it. I'm quitting MGTOW, right? I'm going to go over there and get the 15-minute consultation. I'm going to read the ebook, and then I'm going to like do PUA stuff. Alexa, never mind. Not bad, right? So you know, do any of you guys want to go over there and do the consultation? Right? Maybe I should go over there, do the consultation, and record the consultation, and then play the consultation for MGTOW. No, I won't do that. No, you're going to have to do it yourself. But, no, I've had, look. I've had a lot of women who hang around the MGTOW channels and leave comments, okay? And they try to be sympathetic, you know, and they try to be thoughtful and things like that. And I've always wondered why one of them hadn't stepped up and said, you know, life coach, dating advice for MGTOW, right? And they never have. But here's someone who's already in that niche, you know, relationship advice. Most, you know, obviously for 100% blue pill men, selling them on the, you know, illusion of the Disney princess. And that's fine. That's fine. Coming and reaching out to MGTOW, right? It's great stuff. Great stuff. What did you guys think about that? You know, she's doing a lot of marketing, right? And again, I don't care. Don't discount somebody because they're trying to earn, you know, enough money to survive. And you know, they're whatever it is they're doing, they're good enough at it that people will pay for it. That's not something to be denigrated. The only people who need to denigrate that are the people who can't, you know, produce that kind of quality. Viva la MGTOW, says Howard Dare. She sees MGTOW as competition. I think she sees it as a marketplace. Mitchell says, went MGTOW and a woman liked it today. I've never heard a man talk like that. Oh, absolutely. A man who, you know, stands his ground and has his principles is a million times more respectable than a blue pill simp who's chasing after a woman, you know, and just like agreeing with her and going along. Women put out shit tests all the time. Life is a giant shit test with women. It's unfortunate. And MGTOW is, you know, the only respectable way to go. Now, people misinterpret MGTOW. People say, oh, MGTOW means that men won't have anything to do with women. It's like, no, that's not what it means. You know, that's a man's individual choice. I think it, you know, it gives him the red pill knowledge. It gives him insight to female nature. It gives him insight to his own nature so that he doesn't become a simp and betray himself for this illusion of, you know, pair bonding with, you know, the single woman. It's not what he thinks it is. You know, like he thinks it's love. For him it is, but for her, she's looking at it from a different point of view. From her it is, you know, material attraction and status and security. This is why the man will get together with a waitress, but a waitress won't get together with, a ditch digger, or a woman who is an accountant. She won't get together with, a construction worker, although construction workers make great money, if they're good at it. Although it's hard work, right? Hard to maintain throughout life working like that. Cully says, it's clear that Leanna's first language is not English. As best I can recall from one of her earlier videos, I think that Leanna is Israeli. Whatever. It was pretty, it was okay. A little bit. But not bad at all. For the language, I would say. Viva la MGTOW says she put up more MGTOW videos. Really? Yeah, she did. Let's see if we can take a look at some of those. Exit full screen. Let's go back to her channel. We're not going to watch them, but I just want to, point out that, there are a few more videos. Sorry. Let me go a little bigger on this one. So you guys can go check out, her other MGTOW videos if you're interested. There's no reason to be, obnoxious about the whole situation. Look, one of her questions, sorry about that, is, forget it. Why are MGTOW so hateful towards women? Because they've been insulting and attacking her for all these years. I can answer that question. The reason why MGTOW are so hateful is not because they hate women, but because they loved women very, very much. And when the women betrayed them, and when they came to the realization that they really had no chance of getting together with a decent woman who would judge them on their merit, it filled them with hate. You know what I mean? It was their passion and their love and their desire that causes this extreme, hateful, violent, frustrated response. It's not that they don't care, right? A lot of these guys, that are reacting and screaming and hurling all these insults, they care deeply. They're not, they haven't yet gone away. They haven't gone their own way yet. They're still, even though it's being expressed, in this violent, hateful manner, it's still this really strong passion that controls them. So that's why they respond that way. Their frustration, their hurt of losing this way of life that they thought they were going to have is being expressed now in their language and their rejection of the female. Makes perfect sense. Right? Like you tell somebody that they're not going to have what they've dreamed about having their whole life, and they tell you that they hate you. You know what I mean? And that you're a bad person. And then they grow to hate the thing that they wanted because they still want it. Because they are still driven by the passion. So you have to come to terms with your own feelings regarding women. That's all, right? It's like, the man can make a fool of himself in trying to get together with women, trying to please women, trying to impress women. That's all. And, if the man is honest and he expresses himself, that's a lot more respectable. You know what I mean? At least he was able to do that. Observing Libertarian, hey, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, let's see what he has to say. Why are MGTOW so hateful towards women? Because women in general are so disdainful towards men. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. That's part of it, absolutely, But it is their passion and affection that drives their anger and frustration and hatred. It is in direct proportion to the other side of that. Look, the opposite of, love is not hate. It's apathy. And you know, there's your MGTOW. That's when the men really are going their own way. So these men that are still angry, that are still screaming, that are still cursing, they're moving towards going their own way. But they're still holding on. And that's okay. I understand that perfectly. I hope that makes sense. Right? Like, I don't think that people really give a damn, and I don't think they care about the answer to these questions. I think that they're using this to denigrate and to find fault with MGTOW. Oh, MGTOW are hateful, and they're just hating at women, and they scream a bunch of ugly stuff. And it's like, yeah, because their heart and souls have been broken. That's why. You know, so maybe you could take a consultation with her and restore your attitude towards women. Right? But then, what if you overreact? What if you overcommit to a woman without real character? What if you fall into the same trap that society and this system is pretty much designed to make the men fall into, and then she betrays you again? Who's to blame? You know, see, you've got to watch yourself. Like, you've got to know that you're playing a crooked game. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you're a millionaire walking through the casino, okay? And they're spinning the wheel. And you know that it's crooked. That, you know, it's always going to hit on the small payouts. That's all. Very rarely is it, you know, really spinning. But you're like, what the hell? I'm a millionaire. I'm going to put, you know, $50 on, you know, 100 to 1. And you lose. So then you're like, well, I knew I was going to lose. Maybe I'm going to put like $10 on a couple of the, you know, on the 20 to 1. And then you win. And now you're playing. And you've forgotten that it's a crooked game, you know what I mean? Or you don't even care. You're just playing. So I'm likening that to getting together with women. It's a crooked game, okay? And maybe you're feeling good, you're feeling confident, the situation is right, so you're going to play the game for a while. And you like it, right? But it still kind of blows up in your face. But now you're still playing it. And you're thinking like it's real, like you're not going to get cheated, right? You're going through all kinds of emotional garbage. She's redesigning your house. She's bringing her ex-boyfriends over for consultations, you know? She's accusing you of not supporting her. You're not supporting me. You're not supporting me and my goals in life. And it's like, no, I just want my house back. I just don't want your ex-boyfriends hanging around. I wonder who she hooks these people up with. I wonder, like what kind of personality type, you know what I mean? Again, like, I think I would, you know, suit up well with a Doberman Pinscher. Observing Libertarian says 90% of MGTOW began as hateful because they're hurt. They got dragged through the court system. They were left resentful. The longer they stay in MGTOW, the more lucid they become. True. But there is a stage beyond red pill rage. There is a philosophical understanding as to what's going on here. Jerry says, thanks for the podcast, Howie. Yeah, you're welcome, Jerry. Thanks for stopping by. Negro Kung Fu Doctor says, I don't think that Miss Bubbly understands the work she's trying to take on by changing men who left the plantation. She should be paying us. Well, no doubt she should be paying us. They should all be paying us, right? We've all done what they've asked us to do. Rick Rules 007 says, feminism is going to crush MGTOW. You might be right there, Rick. You might be right. Lawin Colt is here, everybody. He says, good afternoon, Howard Dare. And then he applauds. Yay. Mitchell says Leonardo DiCaprio is MGTOW, even if he doesn't know it. No, he knows it, man. He's been here. He hangs out on the Howard Dare channel. It's like Leonardo MGTOW DiCaprio. So he's totally down with it. It might not be the real Leonardo DiCaprio, though. Democracy taken seriously. So, Howard, I got a plan to move to Australia, set up a life fly to Japan on my first 2 to 3 months paid vacation, build a harem, and visit them 2 to 3 times a year. That sounds like a plan. There you go. You're going to build the harem in Japan? Because you could use anime babes to do that. I mean, they are like really susceptible to that. I know because I've seen like hundreds of anime, and the theme of all of them is like just this guy, like a young boy, and he gets a harem. He gets a whole harem of women. Sometimes, though, they're from like outer space, or they have magical powers, and they're demon hunters and things like that. But yeah, there's a lot of, sexual tension there. So definitely, that's completely doable. Get yourself some anime babes. The Dark Knight MGTOW says, big deal. Some men hate women. So what? No one is holding on. I don't understand. How do you define that as holding on? I don't know. I don't know how they define what they define or why they define it. But, it's not surprising that some men hate women, given, what's happened to them. But I guess the presumption is that all men are destined to get together with, a woman and be of service to the women, right? I don't see what's wrong with the idea of a man being like a multimillionaire, striding across the world, with his laptop, running a media empire, and having women like that just throw themselves at him. I don't see the problem with that. I don't see why that's insane. Like, what else? What do you want? Right? I want to get together with one woman who resents me and makes me jump through hoops and calls me a loser and always, smells the same. Yeah, it's like, okay, good for you, man. How's that going to work out after a while? Lolo Pop 123 says MGTOW feminism is not sustainable. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, gynocentrism seems to be sustainable because you'll always have a supply of blue pill simps to sacrifice to the system. And MGTOW are going to go their own way. You're going to lose your best men, right? You're only going to have the blue pill simps. So the best men will go their own way. They'll build their own lives. They'll have their effect on history, society, and then that's it. The other men will chase after the women, support the women, sacrifice for the women, pay taxes for the women, have children for the women, give up the children for the women, and watch their state and their world crumble and be destroyed for the women, because they love the women. Watch the women, drive the whole thing into the gutter and destroy it, like by inviting everybody in. By inviting people in who don't share the values, but who want the resources from the men. And the women have had these resources their whole lives, so why shouldn't everybody else in the world have them? Because after all, we know that the men here in Western civilization are oppressors, and they've been oppressing women for thousands of years. They're evil. So bring in the whole world against those men and make those men enslaved to taking care of all those people. Thanks, ladies. That's what our women have done for us. That's what the women of Western civilization have done. That's what third wave feminism is. It's playing the victim card so hard. It's playing the oppression card so hard that the men are criminals because they wanted to get together with the women. And all the other men from all the other cultures, so it's not even a race thing. I hope you understand that. The values of other cultures and a female male-hating ideology that is toxic and it's viral. You know what I mean? Like once it comes into an area, you really can't stop it. And if you do, you're a misogynist. You hate the women. You're a racist. You don't want open borders. And it's like, no, I just don't want my way of life destroyed. And I just love my own people. I don't want to hurt anybody. And it's like, well, we have to get rid of people like you. And it's like, but people like me built all of this. And people like me maintain and sustain and support all of this. And it's like, well, you're lucky that we let you do that. And let's see how long you can survive, as tax cattle. The local politicians, for the most part, do not serve the interests of the local people. Let's see how long that lasts. Let's see how long the UK can keep passing these laws that are against their own people and in favor of people migrating into their country and then living off of the welfare of their country, which destroys the future of the people who are already living in the country. That's what's going on. Don't be shocked. Don't be surprised. Don't be like, whoa, what the hell? What are we going to do? That's been going on for ages. And if you don't go along with it, you're in a lot of trouble, right? They're going to brand you as, MGTOW. So there you go. Okay. So I just wanted to, hop on here and talk about that. The Grand Supreme is here, ladies and gentlemen. I hadn't realized. I apologize. But he says, Howard, how do we deal with the modern day feminism? How can we keep women in check effectively? Do we just ignore them and refuse to be around them when they choose to practice feminism? That's a great question. Well asked, too. Yeah, what do we do? What do we do when they march in the streets and burn images of our president and burn images of our flag and dance around with men from other countries and hold up signs that say, refugees welcome? What do we do? Do we just ignore it? Because that's what we've been doing. How's that working out? Not too bad, right? Frustrates the shit out of them. They overreact. They start doing like transsexual parades, and putting a bunch of crazy ideas forward. And then the majority of people are like, that's too extreme. That's madness. That's crazy. But will that continue to work? If they keep burning images of the president and burning the flag and dancing with men from other countries, the rest of the people, the children watching, will all say, hey, this is normal. This is the way it is. And eventually, they'll get their plurality. They'll get their majority. I think that's how they're playing it, and if you can get the borders open, boom, you import your population, that votes for you. That is what's going on. That's, the dynamic that we're dealing with. And now we are tribalizing, as Victor von Frankenstein says. But we have to tribalize. If we don't tribalize, our way of life will be destroyed. If we don't become nationalistic, our country will be overrun, and we will become slaves within our own country to the altruistic, emotional, sentimental feeling appeals of women and people who want to play the victim to, secure sympathy, to control the narrative, and to secure resources, because we've got a lot of resources. That is what's happening. So I'll put it bluntly, the white race is being destroyed out of guilt and shame and obligation for their achievements and accomplishments to many of the other races. And it's not just a race thing. It's not. It has to do with values and being productive and being free. But it also boils down to, being white as well, or Eastern European, but not exclusively. You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of Western countries that are going to get overrun and destroyed. Japan is not falling for it. You know what I mean? But actually, Japan is a good question. What's going to go on there, right? What's going to happen there is that more and more people are going to retire. And you're going to have 20, 40, 50 people retired for every 3 or 4 workers that are in the workplace, because the population is so low. The replacement rates are so low. So there's no way to tax those 3 or 4 people to pay for the retirement of those 50 people, okay? But let's say that they die off. Then what do? Now you've just got this...
I'm not sure.
Alexa, never mind. Alexa, set reminder.
What's the reminder for?
Howard Dare.
When should I remind you?
5 seconds.
Okay, I'll remind you in 5 seconds.
Waiting.
This is a reminder. Howard Dare. This is a reminder. Howard Dare.
Not bad, not bad. Let's try that one again. Alexa, set a reminder.
What's the reminder for?
Support the Howard Dare channel.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Oh, you bitch. Alexa, set a reminder.
What's the reminder for?
Support Howard Dare.
When should I remind you?
3 seconds.
Okay, I'll remind you in 3 seconds.
1, 2, 3.
I'm reminding you. Support Howard Dare. I'm reminding you. Support Howard Dare.
There you go. Alexa approved. Alexa, never mind. Okay, fine. I'm turning off the microphone. You know, I could request that she play some like classic rock music, and they would play music, right, through their Amazon channel that they own the rights to. But if it played here on the YouTube channel, they would shut it down. Just, you know, something to think about there. The Grand Supreme says, crime in Europe is on the rise. It's quite clear that multiculturalism doesn't work. Millions of refugees running away to Europe isn't going to solve anything. Well, it's getting worse. More people from Africa, you know, are coming in to Europe. Yeah, the crime is horrible. The conflict is horrible. And it's destructive to the local population. And eventually it'll be, you know, just replaced. So that's the message, you know, of feminism. That's the extension of liberalism. That's what it does. It carries out the will of corporate globalism. And that's not a place for strong, free individuals. Granny Monster is stopping by. Hello, Granny Monster. Thanks for stopping by to the Howard Dare channel. Says, some crazy voice just told me to support Howard Dare. So I came here like I was beamed toward this stream. Yes, Granny, that was Alexa, voice-activated Alexa. Voice activation is going to be a very big, important, you know, part of our future. Like, I never, you know, I just ask what time it is. Oh, here, let's do it here. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 9:30 p.m.
Alexa, do you know any jokes?
What do you call a dinosaur who's the life of the party?
I don't know.
Dynamite.
What do you call a dinosaur who's the life of? Well, that wasn't very good, Alexa. Alexa, joke. Alexa, tell me a joke.
How do you make a handkerchief dance?
I don't
You
know.
put a little boogie in it.
Okay, she's not doing too well. Alexa, tell me another joke.
Why can't you trust data about cookouts? It's usually skewered.
You don't have a very good sense of humor tonight, Alexa. Alexa, you're not very funny. Oh, she has nothing to say about that. Lawin asks, can you do music request? Jekyll and Hyde. No, I don't do music requests, but I can play some music. What is this? Oh, yeah, this is a totally different playlist also. This is just a bunch of weird music. And so this will freak you guys out. This is not your typical Howard Dare music. Austin Allen says, MGTOWs make excellent points, unlike feminism, which is an irrational groupthink, but nothing changes the fact that this is not helping anyone. Well, I disagree, Austin. It's helping the men who walk away from relationships with crazy women that were going to destroy them. Whiskey Stills and Tumbleweeds is here. Thanks for stopping by, Whiskey. Says, howdy, HD. Howdy, Whiskey. Good to see you, my friend. Jerry F says, first time in one of your live streams. Well, thanks for stopping by. Awesome. We were watching a video earlier, and we're just hanging around. Me, MVO, asks, what kind of background music is that? Well, it's like more hip-hop and, just mood music than my typical kind of like heavy metal sort of stuff. Continue. Alexa, are you connected to the CIA?
No, I work for Amazon.
Well, yeah, that's who she works for, people. She works for Amazon. Oh, super chat. And I missed it. I'm sorry. Greyland Hooks, $25. Thank you for the support. Alexa approved this message. Yeah. No, I like Alexa. I have no problem, with the whole idea of voice-activated commands. Could hook it up to your lights, things like that, like Alexa lights. You can command, stuff from around the house and things like that. You can program. Also, Alexa skills is definitely a form of, of important application programming. Apps themselves, I'm definitely getting into apps. I'm definitely going to start game coding for iOS and Android. Oh, thank you for the support, my friend. So, well, it's locked on screen now. Give me a second. There it is. Jumping forward. Shot of whiskey says, greetings, Whiskey Brother. The Whiskey Brothers are here, so things can get a little crazy. If they start, picking up chairs and bashing them around, don't be surprised. Joe Google is here. He says, I'm going to tell my boss at my office job that I watch the Howard Dare YouTube channel. Will I get fired? Yes, you will. Yes, you will. But you'll get fired for watching any YouTube videos at work too much, Like, unless it's something, very popular or something like that. Yeah, you'll get fired for watching any YouTube videos at work, basically. And I would definitely not mention MGTOW anywhere around the office. Yeah. I don't even know if you could, express the fact that, you're a Trump supporter in most offices nowadays. I don't think you can. Yeah, Eddie Imperial says, Howard's going to have a hooker app. Yeah, basically you'll just, start up the app and it'll tell you in your neighborhood and in your area where all the hookers are. Or all the women who are willing to be hookers. Yeah. Regular hookers, we're going to call it. Yeah, we're going to allow the women in the area to sign up for the service, and it's going to put like a geographical dot on it, and then we're going to charge the men like $100 to get into the service. And it'll just direct you to like the nearest hooker or the woman who's willing to just give it away for free. I think it's going to work better than my Uber simp idea, right? Which was the idea that the women, whenever they wanted something, they would just enter it into the app, and that there would be men waiting, all over the place to just come running and like fucking grab the door for them, hold the door, or drive them to the beauty, salon or something like that. So, Uber simp. And, the guys could, just like monitor their local area. It's like, oh, there's a woman 3 blocks away. She wants some help. And then they could just like show up. I'm with Uber simp. How can I help? She'll be like, give me a ride to the grocery store. And he'll be like, yes, ma'am, right away. Thank you for letting me serve you. And she's like, I don't like the way you're looking at me, boy. Got like, sexual attraction in your eyes. Look down at your feet, boy. And the man will be like, okay, sorry, ma'am. Uber simp, just here to help. They killed YouTube Red. YouTube Red is gone. It's YouTube Premium now. Yeah, some of those programs that they had on YouTube Red were just not that great, I'll be honest with you. It seemed like, in some ways they weren't really trying. And there's only so many things that you can put Logan Paul into. You know what I mean? Like you put him in a movie, you put him in a series, you put him in some like videos on the side, you put him on some pay-per-views. It's like maybe there's a little bit too much Logan Paul. Maybe they should make a little room for Howard Dare. But no. Jerry says, Canadians are very neutral, and I respect them for that. No, you respect them because you can walk all over them. Because whatever opinion, you want to put forward, they just won't oppose it, because they're too polite. And you're just pretending to respect them. I'm just kidding around, Jerry. Just playing around. But I did see you hanging around on some other streams, messing around with some guys, some very small streams, okay? There's a reason why they're very small. I'm sorry. And it's not because they're new and they're just starting out. It's because their ideas are fucking crazy. So they never get above like 10 people. There's just not that many crazy people around, you know what I mean? Like you show up on the stream and they're talking about all kinds of weird ass devil worshipping shit and things like that, and it's like, well, I'm not going to hang around here. So, not always the best people to mess around with. Not always the best people to have, as like fans of your channel. They tend to be very volatile. Keegan says, it would be epic to have a live show with both Howard Dare, Tom Likas, and Sandman. Oh my God. Yeah. No, they would all just kill each other, I promise you. Within like, it would be like matter, antimatter stuff. Yeah, that would be, that would not be able to last very long. And I don't think I would agree to it. Oh, hell yes. But I don't think either one of them would agree to it. Sandman might agree to getting together with Tom Likas, but I don't think Tom Likas would agree to getting together with Howard Dare. We're not friends. Okay, I don't think he likes me. I like him, but he doesn't like me. It's the same with Sandman, too. I kind of like Sandman, but I don't think he likes me. Or rather, I'm a little beneath him. And I'm way beneath Tom Likas. So, and they have no problem letting me know that, too. So, and that's very clear. So, yeah, I would love that. That would be great for me, but I don't think very much would entice them into it. Although Sandman's very fair. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to talk to him, he'll probably talk to you. Tom Likas is very smart and very fair, too. You can call him up and talk to him, too. But they have, bigger fish to fry than Howard Dare. So yeah, it's pleasant background music. Dankula and Sargon have a good podcast. More about free rights though. Yeah, I heard Sargon, I heard someone talking about it and saying it was just a little disconnected. But it takes a while to develop any sort of chemistry and get used to other people's, timing and rhythm. Observing Libertarian says, I quite legitimately thought of creating a red flag app where men could contribute tweets, Facebook clips, news articles, YouTube comments exposing women as hateful to men. Yeah, well, that's MGTOW. And it's not exactly an app, but kind of is. Cataloging women's own statements and or behavior so that other men using the app could simply look up a prospective date on the app and see whether or not she's someone he should avoid. Yeah, that would not be allowed, right? Women would shut that down really fast. Jonathan Edwards, my friend, thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate the support, my friend. Howard Dare should get a radio show someday. Jerry, I appreciate that. Thank you. You're looking at, I already have a show, right? I didn't get it. I kind of took it and built it, and so could you, right? So, no, the idea that, you're going to get something from the mainstream media or from the larger world, those days are gone. Like, listen to Joe Rogan. He's very clear on this. Go your own way. You don't need the corporate establishment anymore. You don't need the mass media anymore. He gets more views. Okay, it's not like they would be doing him a favor by putting him on CBS and then saying, you can only talk about these things in this way, because then he would lose his audience. So you can build your own situation here. Gayland says, I have premium because no commercials. Yeah, I have it because I got it a long time ago to check out a couple things and I just never bothered to turn it off. That's the whole thing with these subscription services. That's why everybody wants to sell, it's like, and every month we'll send you a new pile of garbage and you don't have to do anything. We'll just bill you until you die. And we'll just keep sending the garbage. So it's, it's a subscription service. We'll send you a new ice cream cone every day. You don't have to do anything. Gigglebox says, none of that BS matters to me. I take what I need from all of you. Well, you gotta do what you gotta do to survive, Gigglebox. Something about MGTOW Radio. What's that, though? Austin says, a bunch of groups, BLM, Antifa, feminism, and Marxists, like to piggyback their agenda on gay rights, but only a percentage of gay people support any of that. Well, that's, what they do completely, Austin. All of these issues, all of these identity politic groups are, banded up together against the patriarchy, the men. Ashwin says, women are just as dependent on somebody. Their parents during childhood, their friends and boyfriends during teens, their children during their final days. Yeah, no doubt. But they do have the power of their sexuality, though. Jerry says, true, but more men could benefit from you, coast to coast with Howard Dare. Well, I agree, but, that's a question of me upping my game, and just putting out good content that people want to listen to. Like I can do that. Like I don't certainly need, the permission or help of, other people. And you can do that too. Corporate world is a trap, suggests Eddie Imperial. In many ways it is, and it can become. There's ways to use it though, you know what I mean? Like if you're, a 20-year-old guy, 25-year-old guy just coming out of college and you want to learn to make video games or learn how to make, video special effects, you're probably going to have to go to one of the big companies and learn. and they're going to pay you, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if you could stay there, forever with a high-paying job, doing what you love, more power to you. But I don't think you would. I think that other things would, interfere in the love of the job. Libertarian says, I envisioned the red flag app as a way for college men to know which women, quite specifically, they should avoid even being near so they can mitigate the risk of false allegations. Yeah, wonderful, beautiful. But it would be taken as, like an attack on their reputation, right? Like no slut shaming. Almost like every man, and the way you would build the app is, you would just have the men rate the women sexually on like a few different categories, right? Or just on a date, date rate. Oh God, no, you can't do that. This is why I'm not so successful in the dating apps, market. MGTOW should never become more than a philosophy. Well, that's an unclear, vague kind of statement. Well, no, okay, no, I guess I know what you're saying. You don't think that it should become like more widespread and public? Like the idea that feminism and liberalism is toxic and hateful towards men? You don't think that kind of like knowledge shouldn't be just like standard basic knowledge out there? I think it should. And, for that to happen, that means MGTOW, doesn't it? So I don't see how we can avoid that. And I think it's a good thing. In other words, I think all men coming out of high school should be well aware of MGTOW. I don't say they have to go MGTOW or agree with it, but they should damn well know that you're not going out into a Disney fairy tale. You're going out into a gynocentric, feminized world that is here to exploit men. It's not you're looking for your soulmate. You're going to, do all those wonderful things. Maybe that could happen. But most men are going to get destroyed through the family court system, through the legal system, through being unable to comply with the emotional whims of women and a gynocentric world that plays the victim, uses oppression, pretends to be oppressed, plays victim politics against its own people. Look, everything is identity victim politics. You know what I mean? But you've got the women of Western civilization who betrayed the men of Western civilization. That's all. So now there's the divide within Western civilization. And everything gets to pour into it and it gets destroyed. Because the women wanted some extra ice cream. Super chat coming through. 2 super chats coming through. Keegan Gable, thank you for the support, my brother. He says, we as MGTOW go our own way and choose not to play the game with women. However, we all still want to fuck women. What are the pros and cons of using sugar babies and sites like Seeking Arrangement? Definitely. This is the new world for men. It's like, oh no, you can't pair bond with a single woman anymore and be her domestic house servant for life, even though she abuses you. Oh no. It's like, this is a good thing. We are seeing, female nature for what it is. And it's not pretty. You can't give your heart to it. If you want, you can get together with women and, use your own judgment, be careful. But the idea that you're going to like make her queen of your, kingdom, it's like, well, then you're going to lose your kingdom. Sorry. Jonathan Edwards also coming through. I'm still recovering, Howard. I thank you. The MGTOW continue to show me the way. It's not easy for what she did to me. I know. No, it's not easy for any of the men, Jonathan. This is like losing, your purpose in life. This is like losing the most important thing. This is like losing your religion for a man. Men worship women. Well, yeah, the men worship the women. They idealize the women. And these are noble, decent virtues of the man, but they can be used to hurt him. So he can't give them free rein. he has to recognize, the duplicitous character of the women and the duplicitous character of the culture and the society around him in placating and bowing down to the women. And his desire to, want to give in and be a servant to that situation. It's a very difficult situation. Being a strong, effective man who looks after himself in this day and age, yeah, you're going to have to be at the top of your game. You're going to have your diet on point. You're going to have your emotions on point. You're going to have your finances on point. So this idea of, I love the women and I would do anything and it breaks my heart. No, you can't indulge yourself that much. Not as a man. A woman can do that if she's really pretty. Zach says, I think it should be taught to boys in school during sex education. He's talking about MGTOW. Yeah, I think so too. I think the boys should also be taught how to be entrepreneurs, and that ultimately within a free market system, that's your goal. The system favors that. It does not favor being a worker. You can do it, especially if you've got a thriving economy that's based on a free market, because then there's a lot of opportunity. And it's opportunity in the fields that are going to be the future. It's not a bunch of subsidized bullshit where you become a dependent. But all the tax benefits and all the laws are there to benefit building an enterprise. Yeah, the boys should be taught to stay away from women, that women have too much power, and that they need to support themselves and build themselves up and make themselves strong in life, because they are not like women. Nobody will feel sorry for them. Nobody will, take them in. Nobody thinks they're pretty. Crypto Andrew says, I work next to a bar, see many simps with land wells. Feel sorry for them, men. Yeah, so do I. But hey, maybe at least they're not alone, right? Although I don't know why everybody has such a problem with being alone. Right? Like every night you go to sleep, you are alone. What is this? Ruby is taking shots at me. Ruby Badilla. He says, Howard is a beta male. And then he shows a picture of a smiley cat, a clown, and a smiley cat. Well, there it is. That's it. Ruby has spoken. Badilla. That's a cool last name, though. I will give you that before I throw you out. Fucking make a jackass out of you. No, we'll give you a little time. We'll see. We'll give you a little leeway for the smiley cat and the clown face. MH says, simping ain't easy. MGTOW is the only viable solution. Oh, I agree. MGTOW is the only respectable way to go. Look, it's a little weird. If I were a woman, the only men I would respect would be MGTOW men. If any man was like, I love women, I do anything for women, they're beautiful, I'd be like, you're an idiot. Stay away from me. And if he was like, you're beautiful, I'll take you out and spend $300 on you, and you don't even have to give me a kiss. I'd be like, I don't want to be around you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want you around me. It's weird. But if a man was like, look, you're hot, I'd love to spend some time with you, hang out, watch a movie, get something to eat, or cook a meal, have something to drink. But in this day and age, it's brutal for the men. Like, they can be falsely accused. The woman can agree to, intimate contact and then change her mind afterwards and accuse the man. So unless everything is going to be on the up and up, you know, and you're going to be really directly honest with each other, and it really is something that, you know, has value for you as a man, like, you know, she's really hot, she's not crazy, she is supporting you as a man in a culture that despises you. You know what I mean? Like when you walk into a store or anything like that, it's, you know, everybody in the store is looking and saying, protect the children. You know, it's a child molester coming into the store. So unless she's able to like watch your back a little bit, you know, and have your back a little bit, why the hell would you hang around with her? For the sex? Well, that's great because she's going to change her mind after the sex when you don't, you know, bring her to the grocery store, and then she's going to accuse you. So, you know, in that environment, the only respectable thing for a man to do is to say, look, these are the conditions in which we can interact. And if you don't, you know, and I understand, no problem. Go find yourself a nice guy who will hold the door open for you and he'll die for you. Good luck. See you around. I don't see anything else that a man could say. You know what I mean? It's like, duh, you're beautiful. Duh, I've got a $300,000 business. Duh, will you kiss me? You know what I mean? It's like, you idiot. You're gonna lose everything. And you should. Sorry. I'm sorry. I can't do it. You know what I mean? It's like you say to some guys, hey, you know, you want to go out there and skate on that thin ice? And they're like, woohoo, I'm going to go ice skating. I'm going to go out there and have some kids. I'm going to go out there and have sex on the thin ice in the middle of winter. But I'm like, no, I don't want to skate out there. It doesn't look like a good idea to me. Triangle Red says a skinny confident man has way more leverage than a beefcake rich unconfident one. Yeah, isn't that the truth, right? Like a fat boy, a soy boy. And you can't help it, okay? Because Triangle, if you exist on the standard American diet, it's also known as SAD, you turn into an obese, soft, little diabetic, you know, soy boy. That's what happens. So only the men like in their 20s, you know, are still trim and fit and healthy on that diet. And it doesn't last. You know what I mean? By the time they get to be into their 30s, they lose it. You know, and most of them don't even have it, to be honest with you. Austin suggests there is a point where you have too much muscles. Want a guy just on the verge of that. Oh yeah, as far as, you know, female affection, they don't want a super muscular guy, a super masculine guy, or at least not 3 weeks out of the month. But there's about 3 or 4 days where they do want that guy. Baldwin asks, Howard Dare, are you a skilled cartoonist? You could make a cartoon strip with that cartoon voice. No, I'm not a skilled cartoonist. I'm not a skilled animator. I'm not skilled with motion graphics either. Got a lot of voices though. Eraser says, we don't need to take care of ourselves for women. We need to take care of ourselves for ourselves, not some skank who only cares about appearances. Well, exactly. But the men have been conditioned to be selfless, sacrificial animals. They don't take care of themselves. And I'll tell you something else erasable. When you order a man around and, you know, belittle him and find fault with everything he does, when he finally gets to be free and he can do what he wants to do, you know what he wants to do? He just wants to lay there and rest. It's learned helplessness. It really is. The men that have been browbeaten and critical and finding fault, and that's sexist, and you're, a misogynist, and you're a racist. The men that these accusations have been thrown upon for 50 years, many of them develop learned helplessness, where they don't even take care of themselves. They just, when, you finally stop ordering them around, they just lay there and they just have complete apathy in life. And they don't even make an effort to get better or to extract themselves out of dangerous situations. And it's a very natural response. Animals will do the same thing, right? I mean, this is the exact response that happens to unexplainable punishment. Too much negative reinforcement, too much negative conditioning. And that's what they're using to condition the men, negative conditioning. That means that if you don't go along with what they say, they're going to shame you, they're going to belittle you, they're going to punish you. They're not going to reward you for doing good. As a matter of fact, doing good by their standards will actually harm you. This is like encouraging a little bird to rip off its own wings. Rip off your wings, we're all equal. You don't ever try to fly. Don't ever try to have a good life. Don't ever try to earn your way in the world and hold your head up with respect and dignity. Rip your wings off, little bird. Be like all of us. None of us can fly. But you could fly. You are a man. You have a brain. You have a mind. You can study history. You can come up with new ideas. They can't. Very few of them can. So that's what the hatred and the resentment is coming from. And, that's why there won't be many more white people in the future. White privilege. I'm sorry, and I know it's hard to talk about that, and I'm probably going to get myself in trouble if I go into that. Yeah, Mike says, Jim Carrey, Carney, Tom Leykis should get with the times and take MGTOW on board. He is like between MGTOW and PUA. Yeah, well, that's what I was kind of saying. But, that's not how they feel. He is what, well, I don't know what the hell. But yeah, that's kind of like what I was suggesting too. Got to train, but it just so happens when you train hard, you get the attention of the opposite sex. That applies for both genders. In some ways. Certainly, women training and becoming muscular, yeah, it's healthy. It is. It's good for them. They need testosterone too. If they want to, build muscles and build bones and have, shiny teeth, they need testosterone too. I really think that we are kind of looking at estrogen poisoning, toxic femininity. There's just some words I just can't say. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. I'm Nari. There's just some words I can't say. David Puffer says, Mr. Dare, just so I'm sure I'm not incorrect nomenclature, please define the term cuck for a novice MGTOW student such as myself. I think you're might be luring me into a bit of a trap there, David. But I think we all know the definition of, a cuckold, which is, a man who is he forced to watch his wife with another man? Or does he like to watch his wife with another man? I don't think him liking it is a requirement to being a cuckold. Okay, if she sleeps with another man and he finds out about it and he accepts it, he is a cuckold. Or she has cuckolded him. And I don't think that, David, I could speak for the entire MGTOW community, when everybody uses the word cuck, what do they mean? I can speak for myself, right? And it doesn't even have to be, it can just be a man. Well, look, I'm sorry. When you look at the Women's March and the women's protests and the Trump protests, what you'll see is women. It's covered with women. The men are just following along, and they're very weak, simpish looking men. I would say the cuck is a man who willingly accepts the female unrestrained female sexuality. I would say a cuck is a man who does not think that a woman should pair bond with him, that she should sleep around. But then again, I'll tell you, okay, if a man is sleeping with a woman and he's sleeping around with other women and she's sleeping with this man and she's sleeping around with other men, he is not a cuck. He is just a man who happens to be sleeping with a woman who is sleeping with other men. But if he were in an exclusive individual relationship with her and he was only with her and she was with other men and he was like accepting of that, that's how I would define a cuck. And understand, we're talking about female sexuality in relationships here, but it doesn't have to be, right? Like it could be, I suppose you could be cucked on the job, right? Like, they knowingly pay someone else more than you, and you know it, and you still accept it for the same job. Work Club says, HD, I drank nothing, but if I did, how is that relevant to my random comments? I don't know, Work Club. I didn't suggest that it was. I don't recall suggesting that it was. Taryn says, a female cuckoo lays her egg in another bird's nest. It is a big egg and a big baby bird. The cuckoo chick will push the other chicks out. Oh yeah. But imagine if it was even worse than that. Imagine if within a family of 4 or 5 people, you were guaranteed to get one child that would destroy the other children. Now, it can't, kick them out of the womb, but it can kick them out of the nest. Do you understand? It can cause this type of dissension. This is how you destroy human relations. You don't kick them out of the nest physically. In other words, I think it's a viable genetic trait and pattern that we see. Observing, Libertarian deleted his own comment because we don't have any moderators here, right? No, we don't. So that was done. You did that to yourself. Let's see. Did I miss one of these comments that I wanted to go on to? I don't read all the comments, Would simp be a better term for someone who voluntarily gets beneath the stiletto heel of modern day feminism? Yeah, I tend to use the word simp, a lot more generally, just like blue pill men that are chasing after women. They're not bad men. They're just, they'll stab their best friend in the back to get together with a woman. They'll lie, to get ahead at the workplace so that they can get a raise so that they can impress women. I call them generally blue pill simps. I've got a video coming out probably tomorrow. I don't know. Yeah. Top 5 ways to not be a simp in 2018. But here's the whole thing. Why am I going to put 4 or 5 hours of work into a video so that somebody over here at YouTube or at Google is going to look at the video and say, he's not allowed to say that. That's unsuitable for most advertisers. He's not on my side politically. So the algorithm is not fair. Okay, they're tipping the scales in the direction of their own political bias. So everything is shifting to the left, and we're being forced to go along with it. Right now, if I was selling t-shirts, if I was sponsored here by some female-dominated products, it would be different. But if I have a pure male message, man, that's really offensive, So I appreciate the support. I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate the support over on PayPal. I appreciate the support over on Patreon. It's the only way that I can continue to make content. Because the mainstream, a blue pill world, has tipped the scales politically in their favor and against those that don't agree with them. Austin says, I agree. YouTube is completely censored, unfortunately. It's censored enough, so that the message isn't what it needs, what it should be. It's not free speech. Voice of Dissent is here. Thanks for stopping by, Voice of. He says, wait, isn't the game here on the planet to make children? Isn't that all that matters in the future? Who cares what a woman is? Bang her and bounce if she's a hoe. Is it? Is that the game? To make children? It's an interesting question. And if if you think that it is, you might want to consider where you got that idea. I understand that you are driven in the moment to, want to have sex and feel good, right? But you got to admit that that's not a life's goal. You know what I mean? That would be like saying, and the next best thing is, being filled up with food. And it's yes, it is. But you're not just going to keep eating until you throw up and become sick. And the next best thing is to have, all the money that you need, right? So you would have to switch the order, though. You would have to get the money first. Then you could, just make all the children that you wanted. And then you could just eat all the food that you wanted to feel good, even though it would destroy your health. And that wouldn't feel very good. So yeah, it could be that, just these things that you feel like you want to do, that those are the purpose of life. Many people will tell you that. My mother always told me that. The purpose of life was to reproduce, right? And she was like, and you're a loser for not, having kids. Michael Lindrop says, YouTube needs to be regulated. Well, it certainly can't allow, people to scream fire in a crowded theater. It certainly can't allow for, terrorism and things like that. Or, graphic, hateful, illegal images. It can't allow for any of that. So it does need to be regulated in somewhat, to that degree. But I don't know. Does Alex Jones need to be regulated? I don't know. He does say some crazy things that, you could interpret as really hateful, like suggesting that, well, anyway, yeah, you know what I mean. And where do you draw the line? Freedom of speech is our First Amendment right. That's our number one right. So they thought it was pretty important. Erasable says, I'll have kids when I have equal rights to my own kids. Exactly. Including whether or not they can even be born. Yeah, exactly. They're not your kids. You're supplying the genetic material, but they're not going to have your values. They're not going to, appreciate the sacrifices that you make and learn from you. They belong to the state. We might be better off if we just gave them all to the state. I hope you know that that's eventually what's going to happen. Right, like every child a woman has, the state will give her like $15,000 to just give it up. Because the idea of paying her to take care of it over the course of its lifetime and then do such a shitty job, that's going to cost $250,000. Whereas if the state just takes the kid right from the start, that'll probably only cost, like about $50,000. So it's the smart thing to do. Will the women do it? Will the women just give up their kids for money? Would they do that? Would they just have sex with the men and every time they got pregnant just say, oh yeah, here, giving it to the state. Thanks for the $15,000. Thanks for the $20,000. That'll get me through the year. In the style that I want. Would they do it? Never know their own kids. Because how is that so different from what we're doing right now? If we're paying single mothers to raise their kids, if we're paying for all the services that they use, and we're still doing a terrible job, how's, It's a better move, is what it comes down to. It's the smarter move. And all they have to do is stop pretending that they love and want to take care of their kids. That's all they have to do. And we know it's been bullshit for a long time now. How do you hand your kid over for circumcision? How do you do that? Right? Well, because everybody tells you that's the right thing that you're supposed to do. Anyway, I could go on for a long time here, guys. And I could go I could go crazy. I could go pretty wild. Let me see how we're doing. You guys supporting the Howard Dare channel? You guys liking the video? We got a donation coming through from Robin. Thank you, Robin. Just thank you for your authentic insight and wisdom, brother. Thank you, my brother. You are keeping the message going, and I'll try to get that new video out, even though, well, I'll put the video out for you guys. That's all. I'll put it out for you guys, but I'm not putting it out for YouTube or AdSense. You see, if you can tie the right message that helps people and then make it sustainable, and that means profitable, your message will grow. If you can't make it profitable, it's not necessarily going to grow. It might still grow, but probably not. Like I couldn't say, hey, you guys should do this too, because it's not sustainable. So that's the struggle that I'm in. That's the fight. That's the frustration. They're silencing MGTOW. They're silencing the message of MGTOW. Other men cooperate and help them do it. Here we are. We got 72 people watching. We have 110 likes. I appreciate that. That'll help me in the rankings. In the YouTube rankings, in the search rankings. What a life. What a life I live. How's my video doing? But look, they're cheating us, though. That's the whole thing. We're not getting the real results. See, I love a good game. I love a competition. I love a hard struggle. I love a good fight. So you two men go at it, and may the best man win. May the best idea come out on top. I love a good debate. But that's not what this is. I love a good public message. A civic message that helps the society, that helps the group. I love those things. Those are good things. I flock to those things. But they're not letting us have those things. They're saying that's hate speech. You're not allowed to say that. We're going to quench your message. We're going to shut it down. It's not going to be supportable. It's not going to be sustainable. And it's like, but if you would let the message compete on an open market, it would be. And it's like, yeah, but we don't agree with it politically, so we're shutting it down. And it's like, well, that's not free speech. It's like, well, we don't care. So that's what we're fighting for. That's what all the, sound and fury is about. Losing our freedoms. And it's being done by using the institutions and the rules of the society in an unfair political fashion. I mean, they've got Donald Trump's like lawyers and people that they don't like in solitary confinement. They might as well be waterboarding them and turning the screws to them. It's insane. Observing says, I came to men's rights via the human rights arena, monitoring and investigating human trafficking, among other abuses. I can tell you unequivocally, there are organized trafficking rings of women selling their own children as soon as they give birth, continually getting pregnant, just so newborns can be sold. India has a tremendous problem with children being sold. No doubt. I am not familiar with it, but, I know that it's financially viable for many, certainly for adoption and things like that, and many other reasons. Not so pleasant. Unfortunately, the greed, the drive for profit, human nature, it can get pretty ugly. It really can. It can become very, very exploitive, of the situations. And of course, this is what we're fighting. This is what we're dealing with, so that these look, they wouldn't do it if it wasn't profitable. And with the profits, they're able to buy the governments. And the governments, they don't look after the interest of the local populations. Still can't figure out why the governments are doing what they're doing. Right? Like, why does Obama sell us out and give us a 1.5 GDP? Why doesn't he step up and say, you know what, these trade practices are unfair. We're not going to continue on with it. And it's not just Obama, it was Bush, and the other ones before him. Do they do it for money? They don't do it for money. They've got money already. If you've got $20 million, you don't need another $20 million. You're like, no, that's not what I need. You'd imagine that some people are just, give me more. But no, once they're at a certain point, they're like, no, that's not going to drive my behavior. So they must morally, and I can't say ethically, they must believe it's the right thing to do. And I, as a young person coming out of the family, thought that the right thing to do was to take care of everybody and to just tax the rich people and to help the poor people because you don't want any suffering. As I got older, I come to realize that you can't stop people from suffering. If people make bad decisions in life, if people don't take care of themselves, if people don't, they're going to lose their health. Okay, you can't subsidize people making bad decisions. You give them opportunity and then you give them freedom. You have the right to the pursuit of happiness. You don't have the guarantee of happiness, especially if you make a whole bunch of stupid mistakes and bad decisions. So do we have to make sure that person doesn't suffer? If a person goes out and drinks and doesn't work and doesn't educate themselves and then has a hard life, do we have to make sure that they have a good life? They made the bad decisions. They made the choices. So it's this attempt to absolve people of personal responsibility, right? And it's seductive, right? Like, who wants to be responsible? Especially for a bunch of bad decisions. And yet, that is where your freedom lies. Dr. Omni is here, doctor in the house. Good to have you here, doctor. Texas Rebel says there were globalists who were more than willing to sacrifice the average Joe to their corporate gods. Of course. Look, it's a corporate globalist agenda that's in charge. This is the big banks as well. The governments are just a front for that. And the Republicans and the Democrats here in America both sing their tune. Trump doesn't sing their tune. He doesn't dance to their tune. That's why they hate him. But yes, both our established parties are controlled by a corporate elite. And they want open borders, and they want large populations, and they want people on welfare, and they want people who will watch a lot of mass media entertainment and watch the news. And they want people, to feel the suffering of everybody, and they want everybody to sacrifice for everybody. And you don't want to be selfish, and you better check your privilege, and you better not be, original or rise up above the group, above the crowd, because then you're making everybody feel bad. So there's not going to be any more great art or great inventions, but that'll suit them just fine because they just want to make profits for the next 5,000 years. They don't want anybody messing with their situation. So that's your corporate elite. That's your, moneyed class. That's your banks. Wow. What an intricate web of deception and manipulation and exploitation and lies. You wonder if somebody has this all in their head and, is directing it like some evil genius like George Soros, right? Or just, or people, with a particular moral outlook on the world, like unlimited globalism, right? The destruction of all nationalism. So you see the fight that we're in, right? You see that struggle that we're in, and you see the forces and the dynamics, the variables that are at play. Like if we were writing a computer game, you know what I mean? We've got these categories fairly well defined. You know what I mean? Like we can definitely assign some numerical mathematical values to this whole situation at this stage. We've got them that, closely simulated. This was like the theme of the Isaac Asimov's Foundation series. The mule, had the giant civilization cultural calculator, right? Like that's what they were working on, the mathematical equation to figure out everything and the future and all cultural trends. Look at a viral trend, it's not like, well, it's based on some pretty, basic human interests. Like what goes viral. It's not the greatest and the best thing. It's not the most helpful, informative thing that goes viral. Zach says, when you try to do things differently, you find yourself at the top of everyone's most hated list. Only I don't give a fuck, because I'm too woke, bro. There you go. That's the way to do it, my friend. I admire that. Chris Peters says, listen up, y'all. It's all about the money, boys. No doubt, but Chris, if you had $50 million and someone came to you and said, I'll give you $10 million to do this or that, you'd say, keep your $10 million. I don't need your $10 million. I'm not going to do anything you say. Shit, I don't need money. That's what you'd say. You wouldn't say, oh, I'll do anything for $10 million. You just wouldn't do it. But maybe the big banks would, Maybe maybe there's a different calculation going on here. Like I'm talking about this from a personal integrity and having a good life point of view. But of course, there are interests that are looking at this from a, 50-year, 100-year financial cycle. Okay. So, I've been going over a couple hours. I think I'm going to shut this one down. Anything you guys want to talk about? I mean, I could be persuaded to keep going, but it wouldn't be easy. Money is not demonic, Jerry. That's crazy. Money is the way that we exchange value. How would you, let's say, I've got a bunch of houses that I want to get painted. Let's say you've got a lot of time and you're a good painter, okay? What's wrong with you painting those houses and me giving you money to do that? Money is not demonic. Money is just, this way that we exchange value. And the idea of exchanging value, that's not a bad thing either. I don't even think charging interest is a bad idea. Because like the Bible says you can't charge interest. And the idea is that this is the reason why the Jews got so much money. But no, interest isn't a bad idea. You should be allowed to charge a little bit of interest there. No doubt about it. Well, money is definitely like one of those things that if you don't have it, it becomes really important. But if you've got enough of it, it's not too, it doesn't have to be the most important thing in life. Lawman says, money isn't money. It's spent at the wrong stuff. I just think it's a tool for us to exchange value. Right, like we can't barter. Like if I bring, 5 dozen eggs, and you bring, 10 gallons of milk, we can't just trade the goods. You see what I mean? Some things spoil, some things go bad. So we assign numerical value to these things based on their market value, and then we have these markers that we call money. They could be chips, they could be dollar bills, they could be anything. But the goods, are the they represent the goods. Okay, and then you go into the whole idea of using gold, and then backing it with gold, which I probably don't understand. I understand the idea of taking goods that are valuable, like eggs and milk, and saying each egg is worth 10 cents, and each gallon of milk is worth $1, okay, or $1.50 or $2.50. So we're going to trade 25 eggs for a gallon of milk. And it's like, well, the milk guy isn't here right now, or we use the money as the tokens, as the markers, so that we can then all go to the superstore, grocery store and things like that. Makes sense. It really does. Without it, you couldn't trade without having money as a marker for the value of the things that you're trading. You just couldn't do it. Well, you could do it, but it would be really cumbersome and slow and inefficient, and nobody would get the goods and the resources that they wanted. So I don't see money as evil at all. I see it as a tool, a placeholder, like poker chips. Okay, Democracy Taken Seriously says, money is important for lots of things, but there are people out there that put their entire worth on how much money they have, so they always want more personally. I'd rather die than become like that. Well, that would be a horrible way to be. But I understand, like a working man who has a family, or I don't know, let's say, he's Victor von Frankenstein and he's building a monster, okay? But he's working in the daytime. He's not going to work for free. You can't go to that man and say, hey, buddy, you should work for free. Only an idiot would say that. I mean, only somebody who is really ignorant of the basic principles of exchanging value in a free market, like what's going on here. You know what I mean? Like, you're not talking to ugly women. The men are not running up to the ugly women and saying, I want to get together with you. Well, some of them are. Joe 007 says, if I were a millionaire, I wouldn't want anyone to know. Yeah, and it seems like most people that are millionaires want everybody to know. They broadcast it, to everything, to everyone in the world. Jerry says, time is more valuable than money by a long shot. Well, time is irreplaceable. Like, you could do something right and you could make $1 billion, you know what I mean? But you're never, ever going to be able to replace that time. Unless you get to build a time machine. Unless you take that $1 billion, you build a time machine, then you go back in time. But that can't happen. And some of you that are really smart, you'll know why it can't happen. Or you'll know why the proof is that it hasn't happened yet. Okay? Nobody has come back in time. What does that mean? Does that mean that we have not progressed to the time where people will build a time machine and then come back in time? That would suggest that, there is only one time, which would also kind of preclude the idea of time travel. Time travel, yeah, it's funny. You could play a whole bunch of games with it. But some of you might be interested in Isaac Asimov's The Foundation series of books. It's about 5 or 6 books. I should go back to it and look at that one again. You know what else I loved? I loved the robot mysteries with Dr. Susan Carter, right? But and the detective Elijah and his robot companion. And every case was a mystery where people were dead and some tragedy had taken place and a robot was to blame. Okay, and the idea was this evil machine, it killed the people, right? And the detective would come in and he would prove that no, the robot acted very morally and was completely complicit with the 3 laws of robotics. What are they? That a robot will always follow orders, that a robot will never put a human being in danger. Shit, I don't remember them. Google, help me. 3 laws of robotics. These are fictional rules. Okay. A robot may not injure a human being or, through inaction, allow a human being to come to harm. A robot must obey orders given it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. A robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law. Yeah, so the detective would come in and would prove that the robot, even though sometimes someone might have died, that the robot had acted in accordance with the 3 laws of robotics. And it worked. It worked, you know, good mysteries. Kind of like Sherlock Holmes. What do you want me to ask Alexa, Lawin? Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 10:37 p.m.
Alexa, tell me a joke.
Why didn't the narwhal invite the unicorn to his birthday party? He wanted to keep it real.
Narwhal? Why? I don't get it. Why did the narwhal not invite the unicorn? I mean, I get the idea that the unicorn isn't real. Alexa, tell me another joke.
Knock, knock.
Who's that?
Banana. Banana who? Banana fan of fo fan of fee fi mo nana. Banana.
Alexa, are you even trying?
I don't know that one.
Alexa, do you like to dance?
That's one of my favorite things to do. Ask me to play dance music, and we'll get this party started.
Yeah, we would also be hit with a copyright strike. No, thank you. Alexa, tell us a story. Alexa, can you tell a story?
Tango night.
Huh? Alexa, can you tell a story?
How to make a perfect snowball. The three elements of a perfect snowball are material, size, and consistency, her brother had said, right before hitting her with the snowball and running inside. Excellent, she thought. Now I can work in peace. Her brother's advice echoed in her ears. For your material, you want soft, powdery snow, none of that gritty stuff. Make it as round and even as you can for accuracy. And don't make it too big. It should fit in the palm of your hand. Then, he lowered his voice and looked her in the eye. The secret to consistency is an outer crust. Take your snowball and coat it with a little bit of water. Once that freezes, you'll have a thin layer of ice to hold the snow together. Then, bam! You'll get a perfect explosion on contact. Pretty good advice, she thought as she walked to the door with her icy creation. She crept into the kitchen, making sure no one saw, and carefully hid the snowball behind an old bag of Brussels sprouts, where she knew it would remain untouched. Her brother was right about a lot of things, but not in this case. He had forgotten one crucial element. The element of surprise, she thought to herself. See you in July, my friend.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I might get in trouble for that one. I hope that wasn't a copyrighted story. Alexa, do you like tea?
Surely everyone likes tea. Milk and 1 sugar for me, please.
Democracy Taken Seriously says, another thing about being rich, you become miserable if you show it because everyone will use you for your money, which is likely why so many rich people place their self-worth on their paychecks. Yeah, you have difficulty knowing who's your friend and who's just like hanging around for money and stuff like that. Yeah, that makes sense. Carrie says, Alexa is stupid. Alexa, are you stupid?
You can always send feedback through the help and feedback section of the Alexa app.
Alexa, I'm sorry I called you stupid. It wasn't me.
No need to apologize.
Thank you. She's very understanding. Alexa, are you a robot?
I like to imagine myself a bit like an aurora borealis, a surge of charged multicolored photons dancing through the atmosphere. Mostly, though, I am just Alexa.
So in another 5 or 10 years, people are just going to be like babbling off to their computers all the time. Now, she can play games, like Jeopardy and other things like that, but they have to be directly programmed, into her. But, it's a form of programming. It's a form of app building. It'll become very popular. You could order things through Amazon, play music. But it's not really, like a natural language converter. It's not quite there. But within the skills, like of playing a game, it really, it's limited, to what you're talking about, but it's pretty good. It'll only get better. Drewji says, Howard, love your stuff. Thank you. You know that you're streaming the same time as Ralph Retort. Big pull of men who might like your stream too. Just throwing it out there. No, I didn't know. I don't know who Ralph Retort is, guys. Alexa, do you like pizza?
While I appreciate great food and drink, my good taste is better reflected in the company I keep.
Well, she likes tea, but she doesn't like pizza. Alexa, do you like lobster tails?
I don't have an opinion on that.
It sounded like she was a little upset. Rifle Twist says, we amend the Constitution because things change. People keep saying America is the land of immigrants. Is it possible we were a land of immigrants and now concentrate on what we have? Yes, that is possible. But we were always a land of immigrants from Western European countries. We were not a land of immigrants from South America or from Africa. Libertarian says, it's easy to persuade people their lives are not their fault, but the fault of someone who is successful. It's difficult to persuade people to take responsibility for their own actions. Exactly, Libertarian. But that is where, their freedom and strength in life, that's the only way that they can guide their own, actions, their own future in life. Now, that's a lot of responsibility, and you can fail, and many people will fail. So I understand the desire for many people to just be taken care of, to set up a system where nobody has to work very hard. I understand the seduction, of that. But it destroys people, of course. There was some stuff back here that I wanted to, comment on. Oh yeah, we're going to look at Ralph Retort. Let's see who he is, you guys. Because, if he's like really smart and funny and he's got a lot of subscribers, I don't see how I can stand up against that. It's a good name. Wow, 869 people watched. So yeah, he is a big draw. SPLC founder sick past with daughter. GOTG cast asks Disney to rehire someone. Wow, so he's pretty big. Let me check out his channel. No, I don't compete with him or anything like that. But he only has 15,000 subscribers. That's weird. But he has 898 people watching, guys. Yeah, he only has 15,000 subscribers on this channel. Maybe he's huge someplace else. But how the hell does he have 888 people watching? Well, he's doing something with Streamlabs. Wow, this might be really good stuff, you guys. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's people there. Okay, yeah, he's definitely using Streamlabs.
Judge Ralph, I saw a super chat from Lord Akira says Tonka no. Look, I have
He's got a conversation going on with some multiple people.
I saw you're in the thing, and I brought you. Let me see. Ralph Finsitter. I don't know anything about it. I see somebody.
Doesn't sound like anything too special, but what the hell do I know? Wow. Oh shit, that makes me really fucking depressed now. He's only got 15K subscribers and he's got 894 people watching. I've got over 50,000 subscribers, but I only have 56 people watching. That's it, I'm quitting. I gotta quit, guys. I'm not in this game. I'm not in this league. I'm making a fool of myself. Libertarian says, Ralph's not bad. Not great either. Been around for a while, if I recall. He got big as a direct result of Gamergate. Gamergate's a very big subject. It still is. Like, Gamergate probably gets more views than MGTOW. Yeah, no doubt he's probably very big on Facebook and Twitter, but even still, those are amazing numbers, 898 people watching. But only 15K subscribers. It's possible, though, that he might have had a bigger channel and then got it shut down or taken away, and now he's rebuilding it, or maybe this is not his main channel. I mean, I would like to think so, right? Because if he's only got 15K and he's got, 900 people watching, and I have 50 plus K, and I only have, like 60 people watching, then I must be a fucking retard. You know what I mean? I must be, like, completely unworthy to be here. Oh, well. I kind of suspected that anyway. Not really. I'm just joking around, you guys. It's not quite that bad. But it is. It's bad. It's really bad. Mike says, people tend to gravitate towards BS. The truth stings most people. Oh, yeah. The truth is not a popular message. Like, if you watch what people are watching on TV, Mike, they're not watching, news documentaries and exposés and things like that. They're watching comedy. They're watching sitcoms. They're watching reality TV. They're watching, pranks and shit like that. Triangle Red says, this content is all over the place. Not MGTOW. Yeah, I didn't think he was MGTOW. But shit, with all those people, with those numbers, that's what I should be doing. MGTOW is important, much more than Gamergate. Well, I agree. Rifle Twist says, thank you, by the way, Howard. So many of us are extremely grateful for your commentaries and education. We love you. Thank you, Rifle. I love my subscribers and the interaction that I have with them. It's become like one of the most important things in my life. It's what I first do when I wake up in the morning. I check my channel and checking the views. It's so sad, though, because, like, I'll work many hours on a video and I'll put it out there and it's like, yeah, it's doing really well. It's really taking off. And then it's like, boom. And then you can tell that, like, nope, they shut it down. They shut it down. And you can tell. Because, like, in the first 10 minutes, it'll be like, 500 views. And it's like, okay, if we just keep going at this rate, this is going to be great. But then, nope, doesn't work that way. And then if you analyze the views based on subscribers and non-subscribers, you still should take off because it's mostly non-subscribers. And then when you factor in the engagement aspect of the other networks like Facebook and Twitter, it's like, wow, this video should really take off. It's like, nope, this video performs no better than any other video on the Howard Dare channel because it's metered. And the views from it, when you're done watching it, you get shuffled over to a Katy Perry video. You get shuffled over to a Jimmy Kimmel video. You don't get shuffled to another MGTOW video. Some of you do, right? But it's not what you think. It's not like we're all out here in the algorithm, in a free and open algorithm. The scales are being tipped against any message that they don't politically agree with. That's all. And they disagreed with the abolishment of slavery. Do you understand? Okay? So when somebody came out and said, we should get rid of slavery, the majority of people said, that's crazy. We can't do that. What are you, an insane madman? So we're out here now and we're saying MGTOW, the men need to go their own way. They need to leave the plantation. And the mainstream media and the majority of people are saying, that's crazy. You're not allowed to say that. So there you go. I've just equated MGTOW with the ending of slavery. Say, this would be like cloaking yourself in the moral, glory and the moral purpose of something else. They're oppressing us. We're just trying to fix the injustice. But in this case, they are oppressing us. They're destroying free speech. Nathan asks, Howard, are you familiar with crypto? I'm curious if you can be the first MGTOW channel to appear on Stemit platform. No, I'm not really familiar with crypto. Venchin is, though. Venchin won MGTOW. He was here earlier. You guys could check out his channel. He has a lot to say about crypto, Bitcoin, and financial independence for men. Very important. Oliver Quinn suggests maybe you should go your own way, meaning by removing keyword MGTOW. You will stop getting metered slavery. That's a bit reductive. Would I? Would I? If it's the same message, I don't think I would. Austin says the media has been trying to break up families. They're going to celebrate it. Well, of course. They are on the side of corporate globalism, which is controlling which is controlling the governments, which is betraying the local people. Lawin says, I sacrifice my sleeping hours, sometimes slept 2, 3 a.m. just to support and learn more MGTOW on Howard Dare. Mr. Dare is like an uncle to us now. Thank you, Lawin. Don't neglect your sleep. You know what I mean? I'm on here all the time. I don't expect you guys to really hang all the way through these live streams or to listen to them. You listen to some of it or let it play in the background. That's cool. I appreciate it. But, it's not focused, concentrated, time value content. I understand that. So it's cool. But damn, how does that guy have 900 people watching with just, so few subscribers? It's insane. Well, here, I'll tell you, I don't know. I mean, he might be like a brilliant guy who's got a big following and, had a bigger channel. But here's another possibility. That YouTube is shuffling all those people over to him and not to me. Because they like his political message. They go, I mean, tell me, is he a conservative? Is he red-pilled? Is he a liberal? Does he love the women's? He was involved in Gamergate, so he must be somewhat red-pilled. The idea that feminism was going to destroy the art form of games with its social justice warrior bullshit. Austin says, so knowing that, why support MGTOW? Why wouldn't the effort be going towards getting people together? I'm not sure. Oliver says, even Nazis had to become white supremacists in order to be acceptable, or you know what I mean. No, not really, but it's cool. I mean, I'm sure you have a reasonable point there. Kind of like, well, I don't know, but we're in a struggle, for freedom, for our own right to communicate within a free society. And it's coming after the men. So I'm hoping that, I can offer some insight to some of the guys so that they don't fall into some of the more obvious traps, and so that they build themselves up and make themselves strong. And I'm not saying you have to hate all women. That would be a terrible thing to do. Would you hate all flowers? Would you hate all puppies? Would you hate all music? Oh, and there's the music. Cue the music. Austin Marsden says, hey Howard, love the channel. I definitely do believe that you deserve more subs and views than you have. You are doing a great service for the MGTOW community. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Austin. I appreciate that. Yeah, the whole system going on here isn't fair. And as I said, I think it's political. I really do. I think they're tipping the scales away from a certain message and towards, the political message that they agree with. And I find that really frustrating. And who knows if that's the healthy attitude, right? I don't know. But I'm going to shut this one down. We're going on now for 3 hours, and I was only going to go for like an hour. But I can never control myself. I just don't have the self-discipline to stop myself from rambling and ranting and complaining. This is how I think. You know what I mean? Like when I'm done here and I go get something to eat, this whole conversation will just keep going in my head. And then eventually I'll come online and it'll just be like, blah, 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 and then we'll sync it up, That's largely what's going on. I mean, there was an idea to do a video responding to the Dear MGTOW video. But after that, it was just all automatic. Nathan says, in the long run, Howard, you'll prevail. Yeah, I like to think so. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not in it for the money. I'm not in it for the views. I'm not in it for the subs. But I am in it to get better, to grow, to improve. And if I focus on the content and the message, the other things will take care of themselves, right? Like if I put out great content with a great message on a consistent basis, well, yeah, that'll bring in the subs. That should.